Hey guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another Flesh and Blood stream. Tonight, I'm going to be playing Bravo. I know that Bravo is a little bit of a change from what I've been up to lately. The last, 3 weeks, I've really been, grinding the new heroes. Oh, God. Excuse me. Good Lord. I know that the last few weeks, I've really been grinding the new heroes, and I've been trying to, look into the new set and see what I can find and see if there's, a diamond in the rough. And there might be something that I haven't found yet, and I really hope that somebody finds something cool during ProQuest season that can maybe just reign over Lexi. That would be awesome. Oh, God, excuse me. Sorry, I just ate. Hey, Noah, what's going on, dude? But this week, I'm kind of going back towards the decks that I think are going to be pretty good during ProQuest season. So I'm playing Bravo. I'm probably going to play Bravo tomorrow. I don't know. I'll kind of see how I feel about the whole thing. And then if nothing else, I'll be playing Fi on Thursday. Thursday will be my last stream before ProQuest this weekend. So if I'm not feeling comfortable about Bravo or anything else really, then I'm just going to be playing Fi because that's what I know, and that's what I feel like has a pretty good shot into everything in the metagame. So that's where I'll be starting. I am going to be trying Civic Footsteps tonight. I'm curious to know if it's good enough. In case anybody's wondering, no, I will not be playing the tower cards or anything else. I am going to be playing the Buckling Blow and Buckle package in hopes that maybe I can start getting headpieces kind of early against Lexi's and other against Lexi and other important aggro decks where they need their equipment. So I've just put looking for Lexi / aggro, and we're just going to see what we can find. See if there's anybody that's really oh, excuse me. See what we can play against tonight. I don't have any matchups in here. I've changed the deck over a couple times, so I took all the matchups out because I never took the time to update them. I think I want to go second against Lexi. We are going to bring in Titan's Fist and Steel Braid Buckler here. We want all of our equipment, and then Staunch, Fate for Scenes. We'll cut Zealous Beltings. We want all of our defense reactions because they really help keep us on curve and on tempo. I don't think I want to cut Arouse the Ancients. I think we're okay just running 66 cards into our opponent and just trying to see how we can make tempo plays, because we're going to use our big attacks when they come. We're going to be racing our opponent, and we're going to be trying to make the tempo plays and putting ourselves in the driver's seat. Okay. So if I go, I guess I can dominate Chokeslam, but if they give me a 3-drop, we're not really if they give me a block 3, we're not really accomplishing anything here. So I could make a Surge and throw the Debilitate. I think that's probably the play. And then we'll just Arsenal the Debilitate here, and if we get into a spot where we need to get rid of our Debilitate, one, because we have better options and we need to find another card, then we can always just crown it away pretty early. Would have liked for one of our cards to have been a power card, but, I mean, beggars can't be choosers. Okay, 3 of a kind's a pretty good start for them. Probably just gonna crown this away pretty early here. We'll probably Fate before we do that because we want to be able to play our Staunch Response if we actually need to cover it up with anything. Let's go Hawaiian Shirt Monday. Absolutely, Ben. You know it, brother. So this is 4 go again. So I'm just going to play our Fate for Scene here. We'll see if we can get a blue on top. Yeah, we'll leave that on top because we want a blue that we're going to crown this away. So because of the 3 of the kind, we know that we're not in any danger of like really getting like hurt by anything, or getting like blown out by like any like rain razors or buff spells here. Potential lightning press, like there's nothing that we're really super concerned about. The good news for us is that they can activate Quiver if they want. Like if they have the extra blues, they can activate Quiver, but this is more than likely just going to be Searing Shot and then Arsenal a card, so... Pitch Art of War Endless Arrow, Sleep Dart, okay. And they pitch Lightning Press. Okay, so these are all cards we need to be worried about. Also, we've pitched 3 cards into our deck. We've pitched 3 cards into our deck, all blues. So I think we're just going to go ahead and play the Staunch here. We'll Arsenal our Pummel and try to like set up and hang on to it. And we'll pay like this. How was your day? That's pretty good, man. That was pretty good. How was your day, buddy? And why is there a deck named after me? What? What do they call you, Bravo Showstopper in high school, Ben? One of the things about playing Civic Footsteps is that we need to be careful about when we're playing it, or when we use it, because the Quicken token actually gives them an extra point. So we need to be pretty careful about when we're using it. All right, well, that's 2 3 of a kinds we've seen gone already. There's going to be another blocking hand. Oh, just Showstopper, not Bravo, just Showstopper. So it's going to be for 6. Oh, it's going to be for 7. So I guess let's block Showtime and then we'll sync. We put 4 cards in our deck, all blue, so our first hand's already not looking that great. Let's just go ahead and bottom our Chokeslam here. All right, well, that's not exactly what we wanted. That's a 5th card we put into our deck now. My day was good? Good, man. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. So let's go ahead and block 5. And then they're going to throw this for 4. I will block 3 and take 2. Go to 38. The Frostbite doesn't matter. It's not actually going to do anything, so we're just holding on to as much life as we can here. 2 3 of a kinds are already gone out of their deck, and we've now put 5 cards into our deck. The first card in our second pitch stacked hand is going to be the red Chokeslam. So our first hand is all blues. We have a Debilitate and a Chokeslam and a Thunderquake in that hand, so not really like doing anything crazy on the first one, but so this feels like it has to be our Staunch response here. Yeah, this just feels like it has to be our Staunch response. And then if I had to guess, they're just going to pitch a card and come in with the Command and Conquer. Yeah. We haven't really had a hand where we get to attack other than our like very first hand where we went second, so this is probably going to be one where we're going to try and we're going to do our best to hang on to the Buckling Blow here. We haven't seen a buckle yet, so if we can hold on, I mean, so let's think about this. The Buckling Blow is for 8. I mean, I guess we could like so it's for 12. Yeah, this is, I think this is an okay turn. We're going to take a little bit of damage here to be able to make something happen. So we're going to lose hero abilities, which is fine. Let's block 4. If this is a Rain Razors, this is a Rain Razors. And they're just going to throw the Sleep Dart at us. So we'll just take 5 here and go to 33. They're trying to set up a little bit, and we have good cards to play back into them trying to set up here. So this feels pretty good. This feels like a pretty good swing turn for us. They've turned off Bravo, which is not super relevant. I mean, it's not irrelevant, but it's also not like a big swing into what we're doing here. We don't need Bravo for anything, and obviously they want to set up a little bit. So we've put 6 cards into our deck. This is going to be numbers 7 and 8. So let's come in with the Buckling Blow. If this connects for 4 or more, which I imagine it will, when that happens, we're going to put a counter on the New Horizon, and we're going to hope that we run into a buckle pretty soon. The sooner we can get rid of the New Horizon, the sooner we can just start really trying to take some tempo here. So this is cards 7 and 8. So it's worth noting that we have a Terrace Under hand with the Titan's Fist lined up in our second hand. Or if we make a Surge, we can actually go Terrace Under into Chokeslam, or we can block 3 and go Dominate Chokeslam. So our second hand is looking pretty good as long as we have a Seismic Surge, and our first hand is Quad Blues, which means we have a pretty good shot of that being the case. I'm just going to go ahead and play the Pummel. I want them to have to discard a card here. We're going to pick the New Horizon. Like, that's the obvious choice. Also, being up 8 points also just gives us the opportunity to try and gives us the opportunity to just try and play a little bit more offense. Okay, Lightning Press is a good one. They have 2 Lightning Presses in their deck. So we got to start thinking about how we're pitch stacking our third hand moving forward. Looks like our opponent's about to undo here. So this is an interesting decision. This is a real interesting decision point here, because this is for 4. If we give 2 pieces of equipment, my opponent's just going to Lightning Press, and then they might throw a 0-coster at us and then Arsenal. I don't know. But if we take this, we have the ability to throw Spinal Crush, make a Surge, and then Arsenal the Buckle. And then, so we're taking 6 going to 27. I mean, I guess I could just block and then hang on to something we can buckle, or I can take a little bit of damage and do my best to really set up the buckle and give myself a better chance at actually making it happen. So let's go ahead and let's make them use their Lightning Press here. And if they don't want to use their Lightning Press, like, that's fine. Pretty interesting to me that they don't want to use their Lightning Press, but I mean, and this is just 5. So, I mean, yeah, we're just going to take 5 here. Like, I'm completely okay with this. We'll go to 28. They're going to hang on to their Lightning Press for something better, which is honestly probably a pretty smart play on their part. So let's go ahead and throw the Spinal Crush here. We'll make a Surge, and they're giving us that equipment, which is exactly what we wanted to see. The good news for them is that they only have to give us 1 card, but the good news for us is that we only have to keep 1 card to blow up their New Horizon, and then from there, we're playing a much different game. Okay, so last turn, we pitched cards 7 and 8. This is cards 9 and 10. So our first, the start to our third hand is going to be 2 blues. The blues, for the most part, aren't super relevant in Bravo when we talk about pitch stacking, because when I'm pitch stacking, I'm really just trying to make sure that my hands function and that I have some good setup cards to be able to swing and throw at my opponent as the game goes on. Also, the cool thing about this is that I can just buckle the hammer here if I need to. Like, I can just, like, keep 2 blues this turn, and I can go buckle hammer if they block with both pieces of equipment. Now, them blocking 6 like this does force me to actually like think a little bit about how we want to block. There's cards 9 and 10. So not really anything in here that we're like really looking to like make special or do anything with. Okay, so they're going to get a 0 coster, and it's going to come in for 7 just off the top. Okay, so 7, and then if they go for the Lightning Press, so I can block Macho Grande, block Fate Foreseen Opt, and then if they go for the Lightning Press, if we know it's a blue on top, well, we'd probably just think a blue, so it wouldn't matter. So let's block here. And let's go Fate Foreseen. Yeah, we'll leave that. We'll put that on the bottom. Okay, so that's card number 9. So the Lightning Press happens, and then we'll just play the Sink Below, hanging on to what we have, not sinking anything. So now we got a power card out of their hand. At least it's somewhat of a power card in this matchup. It's a decent power card, I would say. And we'll just come in for 3. Just put the pressure on them here. This is card number 12. So our third hand is all blues. Man, this hand is like just like not great. So card number 13 is going to be a, let's go with Buckling Blow. We have a better chance of being able to play Buckling Blow later in the game than we do actually playing a Crippling Crush, because Crippling Crush will require us to keep 3 cards. Okay. So there's their last 3 of a kind. Now they have Remembrance, so they can shuffle them in if they want to try and like make more powerful turns, but we already have a Frostbite, so we're probably just going to be blocking 9 here. We're still waiting to try and find a turn where we can really buckle something. Our opponent made a smart decision and decided to actually not give us both pieces of equipment. Had they given us both pieces of equipment, we would be like very much so in the driver's seat right now. Just because we'd be able to buckle hammer them anytime we wanted to. And them keeping their equipment means that we can't just play the buckle and the hammer, so we're actually forced to like play pretty strategically. So I mean, yeah, let's just block 6. I think like blocking Heat Seeker is pretty relevant. Now the Quicken token does give up a point into them, so it's not irrelevant. So depending on what they throw at us, we can always like Sink Below here and then just throw the Spinal Crush. We could Sink Below. I guess if we Sink Below the Spinal Crush and find a blue, we're still not playing the Starstruck. We're still 1 resource short. So I guess that's not really like a line we're looking for. Let's block 6. We have yet to see a Rain Razors, which is something we have to look out for. So this is for 5. I guess let's like, the Frailty token is like worth like this hitting is really worth like 2 points here, which is really not that big of a deal to me. So I'm just going to use Sink Below to block effectively. We'll just take 1, go to 27, and then I'm going to swing the hammer for 3. Again, we haven't really been given an opportunity to actually play our buckle and do anything with it. So like our opponent blocked well by blocking with 2 cards instead of giving me both Perch Grapplers and Hornet Sting, which is very relevant. All right, we're probably going to try and keep 2 cards here and throw our Command and Conquer. And then try to get these 2 cards, because our opponent's more likely to give us a card and this. So this is for 6, so let's block 6. Okay, so our opponent does have their Rain Razors. So we're going to take 2. There's nothing we can do about that. We go to 25. And then, yeah, we'll just take 4. So their Rain Razors was a 0 for 2. I would call that 100% a win for us. That is like a big win. Codex of Frailty is very important. Okay, so I guess it's technically a 0 for 6. You have to play against Dash after this game. I wanted to see if I could win without the D-Reacts. Yeah, sure, man. That sounds good. It'll be fun to play for sure. I am definitely down, my friend. So we either give them a I don't think giving them a 6-card hand is the correct play here. I definitely think we're just supposed to block 7. And just keep our life total and keep them on a 5-card hand. Now, them having a 5-card hand does come with a Quicken token, so we've now given up our advantage that Civic Steps provides us over blocking with the Iron Rot legs at the end of the day. So the funny thing is that Civic Steps into Lexi is actually the same amount of damage overall as it would be against or into Lexi as it would be with the Iron Rot legs. And I say this because this blocks 3 and gives 2 Quicken tokens. Those 2 Quicken tokens are worth 1 point because of the Voltaire activation for +1 instead of having the name go again. So while we end up getting to block 3, we're giving up 2 points of value. The only difference is that we get to block more relevant on hit effects that might be different. Hi, I'm a beginner in the game, and I've learned a lot by watching your replays. Mostly a mechanologist so far, but so thank you for that. Great content. Love your energy, dude. Thank you. That's super nice of you to say. I really appreciate that, man. I appreciate you watching my videos and hanging out in the stream and stuff, man. Welcome to Flesh and Blood, dude. Flesh and Blood's a great game with a lot of great people in it, man. And I hope you fall in love with it as much as I have, man. Because I honestly I love Flesh and Blood, man. Like the memories and the people I've met so far, dude. Everybody has been phenomenal so far. Like playing Flesh and Blood. This is not a great hand. I think we're just gonna play the Unmovable for 5. Like, I think that's what we're doing. We're just playing the Unmovable for 5 here, pitching our Rousey Ancients. Let's see, and they've played what? 2 Codex of Frailties? Played 2 Codex of Frailties, and they played all 3 of a kinds. We still got 2 Rain Razors we got to get through. I mean, yeah, that's really good. I'm just not able to block that here. So it has go again, so they're actually going to hit us. This was a good play by my opponent. I guess, technically, I should take 4, go to 17, and then take 4 and go to 13, and then swing the hammer here. It's technically, I think, the best play. They can reload here, but it doesn't matter because they can't activate Lexi. Like, they can't reload and then activate Lexi, so we'll just go to 13. And so now they get to arsenal one of their cards there. And we're going to hammer them for 4. This is only like the 5th or 6th time we've attacked all game. Like, all game at all. Blocking with Civic on pivot turns also makes the Quicken not as good for them. That's true. That's true. Something else I had not considered. I mean, Civic Steps provides a lot of value, and it's a very good card. So I'm pretty excited to like be testing this card and like really like playing with it some and see how it feels. So yeah, I didn't think about blocking with it on pivot turns like that. Yeah, makes it not as good because they're blocking with more cards. Yeah, absolutely. So what is this going to be for 6? So we'll staunch response here. We'll pitch this for we'll pitch Starstruck for staunch here. And then whoa. I think my opponent wanted to play the Endless Arrow here. And that's the second or third premeditate. I honestly can't remember. Premeditate. I guess it's the second. We know that they pitched an Art of War, and we know that they pitched a Lightning Press with it in the same hand. So depends on how many of those they're on. So the Ice Quake is going to make this awkward, which means we have to play Fate Foreseen here. Let's leave this on top. Like, we have yet to have a window where we could play the Buckle and actually make something happen. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, like, but I have to block with it. I mean, I guess the other option is I take 4, go from 13 to 9, and then I get to just pass. Like, and then I get to pitch my pummel to... And then I get to pitch my pummel to actually... Yeah, because then I could pitch my pummel to pay for the Fate Foreseen. So I guess I get to take them off that, but I take 2 more damage. So I guess it's like, what is it worth at the end of the day? If their last arrow is good enough, we might honestly like... So let's see. This is for 7. We take 5, go to 3. I mean, I was like, they're either passing and wasting points on their Rain Razors, but either way, we're going to get them here. But the problem is that we're at 3. We no longer have a chance to, like, really swing the game back in our favor. Like, they've only played 2 Rain Razors. Like, I would say we're dead, like, every day of the week and twice on Sunday here in this spot. Because the second they draw the last Rain Razors, I'm just dead to it, basically, because I'm never going to play around it. Also, they're now at the point where they're drawing 2 cards out of my hand. So as long as they're able to keep cards in. Yeah, I mean... feel like it was probably better for them to arsenal that and set up, but they put me to 1 and take my last card out of my hand. They just kind of like, if their hand is ever awkward, they're just in a tough spot. I don't like, that's interesting. I don't know that a lot of players would have made that decision. Maybe there's some Lexi players in the chat that like could kind of like speak to that. This has been a very interesting game. Like all of their like on hit effects, like, so a lot of their Ice Quake effects have lined up with my Command and Conquers. They've lined up with just like a lot of my good cards. Not to say that kind of stuff like doesn't happen. I was like, interesting. Did they mean the name Go again? Lexi player here? Yeah, like, I mean, there's like, Lexi's really good. Like, I mean, I arguably think like, I mean, I don't think there's really any argument. Lexi's just the best deck in the format. Okay, I guess I guess if I have a defense reaction there, I don't close that. Like they don't close the game out. This guy's played the game very well. And I'm forced to just give you 2 cards here. I mean, yeah. Interesting playing Command and Conquers against me. I'd be curious to know why. I haven't really seen somebody to teach you all my ways. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, like, I like Lexi, and I played Lexi at Nationals. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I borrowed a lot of cards to play Lexi and Nats, and I wasn't, like, I'm just not a huge fan of the Ranger playstyle in general. Like, a lot of times I'll, like, just buckle, no pun intended, and play cards that I don't want to play, even if I don't like them. But I just, like, I'm not going to play Lexi during ProQuest season. I didn't want to have to spend, like, $200 or $300 to buy all of her cards, just for her to hit Living Legend, so... Yeah, so, I mean, I have to block 6, and then I'm just dead. Yeah, I was like, I know it's there, but there's never a world where I can play around it, because if they have another arrow, I'm just dead to that. Like, never a world where I can play around that. I mean, so the problem for us that game, the problem that game is that every time I had a turn where, like, I was going to do something relevant, they had an Ice Quake. They had, like, a 3 of a kind or a Rain Razors. Like, they had something really good. I never got to throw a Command and Conquer at them. I never got to throw anything big at them. And I even tried early on in the game to, like, try and swing the game to where, like, I could play some cards and try to get cards out of their hand. But it just, like, my cards never really lined up in a way that I needed it to. And... unfortunately, Flesh and Blood's not variance, but like there's not a lot of variance in Flesh and Blood. But if your opponent's cards line up against yours in a game, there's nothing you can do about it. Like I don't really care who tells you what, or like who says that there's not variance in the game, because I agree there's less variance in this game than other games. But if your opponent's hands line up against yours, you're gonna lose. Like it's unfortunate. That's all. That's like unfortunately all there is to it. Bobby, you still want to play a game, dude? Let's wait and see if Bobby Boy's still hanging out, if he wants to play. Yep. All right, let's do it. Bobby Boy. Man, I feel like it's pretty on the nose when people like I really hope that like people see, like, when I think most people now pay attention. I think we just have to go first against Dash. Like, I just think we have to. Change my name back, LOL? What was your name? I didn't know you changed your name, dude. I'm exiting stream now. Lol, dude, you're good, Bobby. I honestly don't think I want any of my defense reactions. I think we just want to play our 60 card deck and just try to run our opponent over here. Like, I seriously think that's the play into Dash. Like, whether they're playing aggro or whether they're playing, like, if they're playing boost dash or they're playing item dash, I don't think it really matters. Like, the defense reactions aren't a good hedge into Dash, in my opinion. Have you seen the buff aggressive list that's been floating around on Talishar? So I actually played against that deck the other day, and it's an interesting deck. Like, it's kind of neat in my opinion. I don't know. Like, I don't know how much I like it. Kind of seems a little memey at times, if I'm being honest. But like, I've seen it floating around. Like, Justin, is it good? I played against it twice, and I've dumpstered it both times I played it. But to be fair, I was playing Phi, which is not a good matchup for Bravo, regardless. So, have you seen like good results with it, Justin? Like, have you been playing anybody? Oh. Dude, yeah, Nathaniel, I had no idea that was you, brother. I had absolutely no idea that was you, brother. That's hilarious. That's so funny. So if I block, I might actually take a couple of points here and just like pummel the Spinal Crush. Okay, so that had a defense reaction. So I actually don't have to take any points here. So I could dominate and pummel the Spinal Crush. Or I could dominate the Spinal Crush and set up a Terrace Under. So this is going to cost 4, which means I need this. So this is going to cost 6, so I can go 7, 8, 9. And now we're also representing the pummel, which like is kind of neat because like Bobby will have to think a little bit about it here. Yeah, Nathaniel, I had no idea who you were. I just thought you were like some random dude like talking to me about what was going on. So I wouldn't actually pummel here in this situation because I'm waiting for Bobby to play a defense reaction. I want to save my pummel for something else. This is definitely just a block 6. Like we get to keep our pressure up here, and then we get to make a surge and swing the hammer. Like we get to just take a very value-oriented approach to this. Bobby might go to 26 here and try to start swinging offense. But we're just kind of sitting on the pummel waiting for a good hand. Like I could have pummeled the Spinal Crush, but we already had our Spinal Crush set up. There was no reason for me to do that. Ooh, Bobby Boy is about to go ham with some High Octane. He told me he had went back to playing High Octane in our list we've been working on, which I don't think is wrong. I played it twice when I was on Lexi. Beat it both times with down 17 life at one point last time. Definitely feels memey but powerful when it lines up. Hit me for a crippling for 16. All right, now, dude, I won't lie. When you say crippling for 16, like, that's cool, dude. Like, crippling for 16 is awesome. Like, that's just really cool. But yeah, so like that was Justin, that was also kind of like my thought process is like when I was seeing the deck, it's playing a lot of those like tower cards and it's playing Goliath Gauntlet. In my head, I was like, okay, I was like, this kind of seems like we're just like we're like memeing a little bit here. Wait, what do we have? Oh wow, all 3 max Vs are gone. I was just kind of like, yeah, like it just kind of felt like if it lines up and you get to just obliterate your opponent like 4 or 5 turns in a row, like it's insane. Oh, Bobby said all 3 max Vs boosted in 2 turns. I'm really good at this. Bobby's always had a good sense of humor. We're just gonna take 8 off the pistol here, or I guess technically I'm supposed to block. I was supposed to block one of those, probably the zipper hit. I'm just gonna give a card here. Like it's unfortunate that like I made the play that I did by not saving an extra damage here. I was too busy talking to chat and thinking, but I like, and like, don't get me wrong, when I say I'm too busy talking to chat, I'm never blaming chat. I'm never blaming you guys for my play mistakes. I just like, I get caught up in talking to chat and I just like end up like not, and I just end up like not always making the best decision. We're just going to play this. Like, let's deal 8 to Bobby and get a card out of his hand here. I think this is our like best play. We're still giving ourselves a 12-point life lead, and we know that Bobby's played a High Octane, and he just put 1 on the bottom. 3, 5, 6. So let's just block here. Really hurt. Blocked with my whole hand and still took 6. Yeah, dude. Like dominated Crippling Crush, or like a Crippling Crush for 16 is insane. Like that's like really cool. I mean, that's the kind of thing that like dreams are made of. Like. I guess we can just take 5. We're trying to put pressure on and like play offense here, and Bobby's boosting a lot. Ho ho. All right, there's a High Octane. So we got to show him all 3 cards, which is fine because it means he's going to take my Terrace Under. At least Bobby should take my Terra Sunder. So we're going to 22. We're up 4 points, and we're going to make a Surge and swing Hammer. So the Terra Sunder turn was going to be really good for us, but Bobby's Harpoon was actually like really sweet right there. Put us in a bad spot. I mean, a bad spot is kind of a stretch. I don't really know that I'd say it put us in a bad spot, but it put him in a better spot. Let's say that. Bobby's just taking the damage here. This hand is definitely going to be block 5. Block 5 and then throw the choke slam for 8. Like, let's just take our value-oriented play here. Bobby sparking for 0. No, he's back. So he sparked for 0, cranked to gain an action point. Get backup protocol red. Backup protocol red is such a great item, by the way. If you're drafting during ProQuest season, this card could be a pack one, pick one, in my opinion. This card is so good. Like, this card is actively insane. So Bobby's boosting here. I'm going to show you the red chokeslam. I can just go to 17 here. Not really a reason to do anything. He's going to activate backup protocol red, get a harpoon and arsenal it. We're just going to throw chokeslam for 8. We're just continuing to play our value plan here. We also have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of equipment block left, so we still have equipment we can use to like set up for a big turn. I might just honestly the rest of the game for me might just be like block a couple times and then swing hammer, unless I have like a dominated like Starstruck or Crippling Crush or Spinal Crush or something like that. Let's see. We've played a Command and Conquer. We've played a Spinal Crush. We've blocked with a Crippling Crush, and we played 2 red chokeslams. So there's still some decent power cards in our hand, or in our deck, that we can draw into. I mean, this hand's not great. Like, this hand's fine. We know that Bobby has a harpoon, so we're going to have to block a little carefully here. I mean, our turn can be block 3, dominate, buckling blow. Let's go to 13 here. Is he boosting? Yeah, Bobby's boosting into me. He's not playing D-Reacts. He's just playing the pistol items. Let's show you these 3. See if you take the blue or not. You do take the blue. Interesting. Okay. So I'm still just going to throw the buckling blow here. Yeah, Bobby wanted to see what the matchup was like if he wasn't playing D-Reacts and he was just going to boost into me. Now, the chambers give him like a pretty good way to not get fatigued here. Now, unfortunately, him having 2 chambers and 0 purifiers is only going to put him in a spot where he can take 3 cards from my hand, then I can hammer him every turn before he starts to run out of cards that he can actually boost with. So, okay. I mean, how greedy do I want to get here? I don't think the answer is very. Wonder what Bobby's last card could be. Let's just go ahead and block here. Let's block 4. Give Bobby the Quicken token. Yeah, that's fine. So Bobby wants to pistol me an extra time here. I think I can afford to go to 6 here and try to set up the Crippling Crush that'll end the game. So Bobby was saying that he feels like he has to have a max V to like really have a shot in this matchup. And I'm not like entirely disagreeing. But I don't know that he has to have one to like have a chance. I mean, I think the game has been very close. I've probably played a little bit looser than I should, but I'm also trying to like really trying to like make sure that excuse me, that Bobby just doesn't get to like set up a couple of items over the course of the game and then just stare at me. Like, because if Bobby has like all 4 of his items in play, D reacts or not, like I will fall short. God, this is tough. Yep. I mean, we're gonna crown away. I guess we're gonna crown away the Crippling Crush because there's like not a chance of us really like making big use out of that. So blue gives us Spinal with Pummel. We're not going to block with the Civic Steps here. Bobby did not boost this turn, if I'm not mistaken. No, his 2 cards were just pitched for pistol items. So I guess from here... I mean, I guess I could block Command and Conquer. How many pummels have we seen? 1? And I don't think I've pitched another one. So, I mean, maybe we're supposed to just arsenal the Command and Conquer and try to, like, have that as a play. Let's go to 2 and see what we do and what happens here. Like, I don't... Bobby hasn't boosted, so, like, there's no accelerator this turn. Yeah, unfortunately, if this was a blue, I could have dominated and pummeled here, which definitely would have ended the game. But we're not gonna be able to end the game this turn. So the pummel stops Bobby from having go again. Like, period. So Bobby goes to 1, discards his worst card, and then keeps a card. And then... So he discards Toma Fiendel. And nothing Bobby does has go again here. So he's going to Spark for 0. Go get a Teklo Core. And then my turn is going to be... Make a Surge, Dominate Buckling Blow. Or I guess Choke Slam. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, as long as we could dominate something there, we were fine. We also could have just thrown... We also could have just thrown the Macho Grande there. Like, or I guess we couldn't have. All right, so we ended up closing the game out. Even though Bobby found... Let's see if he wants to board differently. Okay, so Bobby does want to board differently there. Okay, which is fine. Like, All right, so was a really close game. Bobby's going to go first, which I think is 100% correct. He has a lot of items in his deck that he can get value out of. Again, I don't think we want any of our defense reactions. I think against Dash in general, we just want to be playing offense here. If Bobby's boosting a lot and boosts over some of his items pretty early, we can probably just consider blocking the entire game and just trying to get him. Like, honestly, like that's something that we can really consider if the game goes in that direction. Now, I don't know that it will, but so let's dominate the buckling blow and throw it. Bobby will block with a card and then an equipment here. Now, whether that's crown or whether that's heart, I don't know, but he'll block with a card and equipment here. If Bobby does take 6 here, we're just going to be blocking during our turn, and we're going to put a counter on his heart. If we can get rid of his heart, that'll be really good. Bobby thinking about giving us all 5 cards here, or all 3 equipment pieces here. Interesting. It's like, I definitely don't think it's wise for Bobby to give us all of his equipment here. Like, I definitely do not think that's the play. So we'll just pass. We'll go Macho Grande, disabled, and Chokeslam. I mean, this hand's block 3 and then dominate Chokeslam, or it's block 6 and swing a Chokeslam. So we'll just take 2 here off the pistol. That's fine. We'll block 3. I guess let's just give equipment. So Bobby's going to swing the pistol here. I guess we'll just take 2. We'll just go ahead and make a surge and dominate the Chokeslam here. I don't think it's really going to like affect Bobby's turn in any way. Like dominated, like Chokeslam's effect isn't like super great into Dash. I think we just need to be putting pressure on our opponent here and playing offense. Let's block 3 and take 2. Let's block 3. Bobby's boosted over a few good red cards here. So this is for 2. I guess the Civic Steps here isn't super relevant. I'm thinking in my head that it's not. Because he either has resources for the pistol or he doesn't. So I think the Civic Steps is fine here. And I think last game taught me that I want to be blocking with Civic Steps earlier if I can. Just because of how little it might actually do. So I guess it gave Max V go again, but it didn't matter because he had the points here regardless. I mean, take 7, Arsenal. Like, I think that's what we're forced to do here. Maybe I'm supposed to crown this away and block with a different card here. Let's go to 21. I'm going to pass, and I'm just going to arsenal my sync or my unmovable here This will let us cover up like a throttle or a staunch response, or this will let us cover up a throttle or like a zipper hit here. Pitching an item, interesting. And he's just going to play an item. So I can come in with Spinal Crush, which is really just one card in these. Or I can come in with Zealous Belting and Hammer. So I get one card out of his hand, or I can attack for 11. I think attacking for 11 is better. Like, we're just trying to race here. Really? Like, I don't think it's better to just throw Spinal Crush here. Like, if Bobby wants to block with a card, he's going to block with a card here. This is not a great blocking hand. This is a very good offensive hand. I wish I had the hand to, like, I wish I had the tempo to play offense with here. I think it's the difference between, like, going first and going second in a lot of ways in this matchup. I mean, Bobby didn't really do anything with going first. Like, he didn't set up any items or anything, so it's not like we were really punished for going second, but like it's weird because like when you go second, you generally have more tempo. If I could type, please. I mean, so Bobby just said that he's glad I didn't have disruption, which I suppose that means that that he has a maximum velocity here. And if he has maximum velocity here, then it means that... Okay, so he doesn't have maximum, or maybe he does. I guess he could have maximum velocity and tome here. Like... I don't really think that, like... I don't think the Spinal Crush was going to do enough to, like, really stunt his turn. Like, Bobby would have gained one less life. And I don't think that's really, like, what we wanted. I don't know. Does anybody in the chat think the Spinal Crush would have been better play there than the play of Zealous Belting and Hammer? I mean, if you do, like, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just curious to know if anybody disagrees with me, because I made a play that I feel like I think was the best play in that situation. Okay. I mean, I think I have to be willing to take 3 here. Like, I might be able to block, like, a Med-X with this or something like that. I don't know. Like, if it might be a relevant part where, like, blocking a Med-X is, like, good enough there. I mean, I guess it blocks 2 one way or another, so... Like, I'm definitely blocking with both of these. I guess let's just go ahead and block like this. Let's block like this. Now, you need to cycle your 2 blocks out anyway, and you're committed to racing at this point. So that was also my thought process. Is that, like, having the 2 blocks in my deck is that's not how I'm going to win the game. I will not win by blocking for 2. Okay, so Bobby activates Heart. So there's only 1 maximum velocity left in his deck. He activates Backup Protocol Red, getting a red zipper hit. Plays Induction Chamber and passes. We're going to make a Surge. And it's Hammer for 4, Zealous Belting for 5. So we'll swing the Zealous Belting here. Still allowing us to put some pressure on. I would have loved to have had a Command and Conquer in either one of those hands. Like, Command and Conquer would have been great. We haven't seen one yet this game. I guess I'm technically taking a chance that I'm going to give up a point here if I actually give up my unmovable here. I'm surprised Bravos aren't going back to the playing defensively with Smashing Good Time sided in. That honestly might be the play, dude. I had not considered playing Smashing Good Time, but that might just be where the play is. Like, playing Smashing Good Time into these decks might just be it. Like, just turtle up and play Smashing Good Time into, like, a Spinal or something. Might honestly, like, just be the play against, like, these Max decks and stuff like that. Like, against Max, against, like, Dash, like, it's honestly really not a bad call. I might try that. So I'm just going to pitch my Terra Sunder here and play Unmovable. Going first and having a chance to set up another item feels a world of difference, is what Bobby's saying. Wonder how I'd sideboard that. I wonder how that changes my sideboard. So, I mean, I think I need to be, like, swinging hammer and doing things here. So, and if I block with the Civic Steps at this point, like, the Chamber does get value here. I mean, I guess we'll give Crater Fist, just take 2. And then we're probably looking at getting pistoled twice. Like, this is the part of the game where, like, I don't think we can really come back from this. Bobby didn't activate Purifier. Interesting. I'm just going to take 2. I'm intrigued by Bobby's decision here. Like, maybe, I guess he just didn't, it was pistol twice or pistol once for 3, so pistol twice is definitely better. That makes sense. I just don't know what his last card is. Like, seems like if he could have kept some items loaded and then, like, still, if he could have kept some items loaded there. Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, being able to attack with Command and Conquer without actually, like swinging Command and Conquer without, like, having pummel threatening is not nearly as good because it just gets 2 cards out of their hand. This is a block 6 opportunity here. I mean, we'll still throw the Command and Conquer. Like, they can't give me Heart, Galvanic Vendor, and a card. They have to give me 2 cards here. Like, Bobby has to give me 2 cards. So, Bobby swings 4, no boost. We'll go to 7. Like, this game's over. I think this game was over quite a while ago. Like, when Bobby was able to get 2, like, a second chamber and a purifier into play, like, moderately early while still putting on a lot of pressure, that's pretty solid. Like, Bobby's boosted 15 cards, like he's banished 15 cards this game, and Bobby hasn't boosted a single item, which I don't really think, like, I mean, like, it definitely, like, I'm not saying it's an every game kind of thing, but almost every single time I've boosted against somebody and I have the items in my deck, I always boost over them. Like, I feel like it happens to me, like, so often. So, like, I live in this, like, perpetual fear of boosting over the items that I need to close the game out. And it's kind of a chance that you just kind of have to take. And, like, that it hasn't, Bobby boosted over 1 purifier last game, and Bobby didn't boost over any this game. So this hand is also a block 6 and just swing Command and Conquer. Or I guess I could block 9 and swing the hammer here. Yeah. Well, I guess the on-hit effect doesn't matter. Like, the on-hit effect doesn't really matter here because he has no cards in hand. I see a Teklo core in the banish. There's one item, lol. Okay. Okay, Billy. We all know what I meant. Oh, Billy coming in with the trolling. You love to see it. So... Pistol me for 2, so I guess I could have given Civic Steps if I wanted to. We're just going to keep taking the value-oriented plays. The more Bobby has to block, the better off we are. The problem will come to a point when, like, we're swinging hammer and it's not going to be good enough. Okay, so Bobby just agreed to lose the harpoon to keep his hand. And when... Oh, God, we're so dead. We're so dead this turn. So, again, this is an action points don't really matter kind of turn. Let's just go ahead and put the Terra Sunder on the bottom. Oh, I guess drawing a 2-block is... I mean, not a very high chance of us drawing a 2-block there, but I guess the chances are never 0. Chances are never 0 of doing things that are improbable, but... I mean, so Bobby said that me blocking with the footsteps here allows him to attack for 3 more. I like, and he said, isn't that worse than not blocking? It is definitely worse than not blocking than allowing him to attack for 3 more. But my thought process, like, to this point has been that if there's a turn where my Quicken token is not going to matter, it's on a turn where Bobby wants to boost like crazy. So, I don't know, like... It's interesting that blocking with footsteps cost me 3 points here. My hand in this instance benefits, but the other times it didn't, so that's still sound thinking. Okay. So Bobby's saying that he's benefiting this turn specifically, but he hasn't so far. So it's good to know that Bobby hasn't benefited to this point from my thought process. Makes me feel a little bit better about where I'm at here, but I still think I might just be dead. I guess I'm not technically dead because Bobby has to give go again here. I go to 5 and then, or no. I guess Bobby can activate Heart and kill me here. Right? Because he has 2 action points. Yep, I go to 2, and then I die. So Bobby setting up the extra item is really what got us here. Just lost a very close game against Dromai here with my Riptide deck. Ended with Dromai at 1. Dude, I mean, if you're getting Dromai at 1, man, like, that's really good. Like, I was like, Dromai is, like, probably one of the better decks going into... Dromai's probably one of the better decks going into ProQuest season. Like, the Tome card is really good. Like, Tome gave her, like, a lot of benefit here. Let's see here. Looking for Lexi / aggro. Hoping we can keep up with the whole Lexi game plan. I put / aggro because, like, I want other people to join and play against me, but I'm also, like, mostly interested in just playing against Lexi tonight because... If you can't beat Lexi with the deck, then it's just not going to happen. I also think that the first Lexi game was like not a great representation of the matchup. Let mean, against Boltyn, like, I guess we want to go second. I don't know. Just feels like not a great representation of the matchup, if I'm being honest, just because, like, we never had a turn. Like, and when I say never, I mean, like, we literally had one turn where we played an attack that wasn't like a choke slam or something. So not a lot of people playing Lexi on Talishar right now. Yeah, I haven't run into it a lot. I haven't played against it a lot, honestly. Like, it's not something I'm like really running into as of late. Which, like, I think people are more just like, people are playing the new stuff kind of like I have been. Like, they're just streaming and playing games with the new cards, seeing what works, and then they know, here, my Lexi deck works if I need it to. We'll just bring in Fates and Sinks and take out Zealous Beltings here. I think being able to cover up our opponent's cards effectively is pretty solid. Like, Fates and Sinks are really good in my opinion. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and give a Sink Below here. We'll put one of the Thunderquakes on the bottom and see what we draw. The Buckle could be a good arsenal with our Buckling Blow that we have. So this is interesting. Like, I'm giving up basically like 5 points here if I don't double block, and I think it's better just to block with 2 cards and lose a Buckle here. Personally, I think I'm better off just keeping my life total up and also just like not giving them a Courage token. I mean, make a Surge, play Buckling Blow, arsenal my Sink Below. Seems like a pretty solid turn. I don't know if anybody that hangs out in my chat like plays Flesh and Blood and Magic, but I actually went to a Magic tournament yesterday for the first time in a while. I haven't played Magic in a long time, but I went yesterday to hang out with some of my buddies and support like a local shop owner. So our first hand is Starstruck in a blue. Okay, well, this hand's looking pretty good. Just a Command and Conquer, huh? Can't draw cards. It's not really relevant. We'll just keep our life total up here, and we'll just crown away our Sink Below. So now our first hand is blue Starstruck Sink Below. So if we can we're going to put another blue in there and make it kind of okay. Could you just block with Buckle there since it's not an attack action? Yes, you are correct. I just completely had a moment where I wasn't thinking about things. Justin, you're absolutely correct. It definitely would have been better just to block with the Buckle. Keep another card in my deck. That would have been 100% the correct play. So now our first hand, I'm going to put the Choke Slam in there because I think like what blue we put in there isn't super relevant. I think we're more worried about actually, I think it's like we're more worried about making sure that we have a Surge for our first pitch stack hand. Okay, you like to see Beacon and Victory out of there. Is this a charge card? No, it's not. Is this a defense reaction? Okay, well, if you don't have one from Arsenal here. Okay, so I'm curious to know if they realize what they've done. So we put 6 cards into our deck. Oh, they're just going to play Command and Conquer. Okay. We'll just block with both of these. Like, that's their, what, second Command and Conquer? Yep. A lot of people are playing Command and Conquer into me recently, which, like, I don't know if that's, like, a new thing. Like, I don't know what's going on there. So let's see. We put 5 and 6 back into our deck. This is 7 and 8. So our second hand is just going to be all blues, which is not like really great or anything. Steelblade Shunt, interesting. I didn't know that Boltyn was on Steelblade Shunt. We'll just block with one of the pummels here. Seems like a interesting. Yeah, I'm not gonna let our opponent have this here. We're just gonna play the unmovable. It's a very inefficient play, but also like a pretty good play. Okay, what is your last card? A snatch? Okay, your last card is a snatch. I guess I don't want to give them the quicken token when they're on a big turn, like when they have all 4 cards. We want to wait and use the civic steps when we're going to use our pummel to actually do some damage, and like kind of put them on the back foot. I mean, they've shown they have defense reactions, so Terra Sunder here is not worth taking a lot of damage for, in my opinion. I don't think it's like really worth just taking a buttload of damage. Like, I think we're better off to just try and play the blocking efficiently game. This is just for 4. So, I mean, I guess they can snap this. So if I give Buckle here, they have to use snaps. And this says your next sword attack. So I could try to play Terra Sunder here. I can take 1 and we'll see if they snap. No? Okay. So we took 1 to try and throw our Terra Sunder and make our Terra Sunder relevant here. There's no guarantees that it is going to be relevant. I could have taken 4 and kept my pummel, which almost guarantees it's going to be relevant, but I don't think it was correct to take 4 there. I think taking 1 is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, technically they could give Tunic. Oh, so this just hit. Oh, okay. Interesting. I mean, again, I'm not complaining. I'm just surprised. I mean, I guess we'll just like... I guess we'll just keep playing offense here. Cranial Crush, not really. I don't think Cranial Crush is going to do anything. Like, there's no 3 of a kinds for them. Like, there's nothing like really crazy that they can do here. Just taking 5. Defense reaction? All right, well, let's try this again. I'm curious to see... Oh, they're just going to take it all? Okay. Like, I mean, this hand seems pretty good. This feels like a Bolt or a V, or what's not V for Vanguard. What's it called? What's the... I mean, V for Vanguard, like there's already 2 of those out. What's the card called? I thought they'd already played one. I guess they haven't. Maybe it's over here. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're just going to give the Fate here. If they have the Courageous Steel hand, I guess we could give Tectonic Plating to play around it here. I guess let's do that. I don't know. I don't know what's correct here. Let's just play around this and see what they do. And then we'll opt. We'll leave that on top. That's a very good card. Beacon of Victory. Beacon of Victory is, yeah, that's the card I was thinking of. Man, I'm just all over the place tonight. And my opponent literally just made the comment that I don't need to block in the chat. And they're 100% right. Like, I don't need to block here. Just like because of Cranial Crush, they can't draw cards. And that's not something I was thinking about. Man, I'm like, I'm not playing very well tonight. I took a nap before I streamed tonight, and I don't know if that's like I don't know if that's making me less aware. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not playing very well tonight though. Is that double Lumina Ascension? Sheesh. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to use this now, though. We're still going to leave this on top. And then, let's see. Huh, okay. Courageous Steel Hand. So, they put 2 cards into their soul, and they got 2 more attacks here. I could block 6 and then swing the hammer for 4. I think... So, if I take 10, I go to 19, and they go to 28, and then I have to throw Crippling... And if they have a defense reaction, they give they give 1 card in this. So I don't know. I want to play a little bit more aggressively here, and let's see how it plays out if we're playing more aggressively. That was their last attack. So they're going to go to 19. Or we're going to go to 19. They're going to go to 28. All right. Well, they did get rid of their last Lumina, so we're not worried about that, which is kind of nice. Okay, so they're definitely like a defense reaction in their hand. But we did get 3 cards out of their hand, so they take 2, go to 26. And with a Spinal Crush on top, hopefully they're just kind of like passing and we can like really utilize the Spinal Crush. I guess we're going to be utilizing the Command and Conquer instead of the Spinal Crush, which is like pretty disappointing. We're going to pitch the other Command and Conquer to play the Pummel here and then Arsenal the Spinal Crush. They're not giving me Crown. I'm assuming they have like an Oasis Respite here. No? Okay. Wow, we got 2 defense reactions with that? That's insane value for us. That is, like, such good value. What does this thing actually say? Pay 2, destroy this, charge a hero soul, target attack gets +2. Alright. So... we need 6, which means we can dominate here. Now, they can still block with Crown, Iron Song, and a card. Wait a second. Can I play Buckle and make it happen? Pitch a blue to play Buckle, and then I have 4 resources, and I did not have a Surge, so no, I can't. Sag. If I could Buckle Spinal Crush, that would be insane right here. I'd just be actually cracked. I jokingly say this at armories all the time, like when I'm talking to my buddies and stuff like that. I always say Bravo is not Oldham. What is this? Okay. I mean, I guess this hand says block a bunch. I mean, this is so bad. Okay, so I'm about to consider taking 3 here and just swinging the Spinal. Like, I think it's correct. I don't know. Like, this is like they already have 7 cards in their soul. There's 0 Luminas left in their deck. Like, it's not like we're like really like letting them play to like a big combo. Yeah, I like that was. I don't think I've like 3 red choke slams and a red crippling crush in one hand. That's up there. I'll say that. The alternative play was to block 3, take 1, and then swing 6. Either way, it's a 9-point turn. Yeah, like what a hand. Bolt of Courage. I mean, this isn't really like an on-hit effect. It's just a 1-for-4 with Go Again. I'm honestly tempted to just block with both my Rouses here, because I don't really want to give him the Courage token, and I'm up a whole bunch of cards. Like, I honestly think blocking like this is fine. If they do Boltyn and, like, throw a Snatch here, okay, I mean... That's one way to do it. So I take 8 and go to 8, which is, like, really cool. Like, I mean, it's not good for us, but, like, it's pretty fun, in my opinion. I don't really feel like I can afford to just take block 3 and take 6 and go to 2. Like, we'll just die to the Steelblade shunts at a certain point if that's what happens. The Beacon of Victory for, like, I guess that was like the one. So we really ended up taking 2 on the turn that we took 1 because we gave them a card, another soul. And then we gave them the 1 point that they hit us with, and then we gave them the extra point off of the Beacon of Victory. Crazy parts, like that's the first one we've seen, I think. I was so confident they had like blocked with a Beacon of Victory earlier. Maybe they pitched one and I wasn't like aware of it. So if I block 3 here, I mean, like if they have like a pump in their hand, which we know they have a Courageous Steel hand probably somewhere in their deck, and they have another Beacon of Victory, like, so any pump in their hand just kills me here, but I don't, like, there's never a world where, like, we're playing around them. Like, if they have them, they have them. I think you just block out the Lumina turn to deny the soul entirely. That could have been, so I'd have to go back and look. I don't know if we had enough equipment to block it out, but I know that, I mean, I guess it has Go Again, so, like, the Lumina turn is a good turn to give Civic Footsteps. So, I mean, maybe, yeah, like if we block the Lumina turn, so we blocked the first one, right? And then if we block the second one, so we blocked with Tectonic Plating and Fate Foreseen. We had Civic Footsteps and 1 counter on Crater Fist. which means we give 2 cards and then we give 1 card and this to block 3, 6. So yeah, we block. Yeah, so I guess we can block it out exactly. So blocking it out would have saved us from taking 8 there. And then, I mean, yeah, like I'm gonna take 1 here. There's nothing I can do about it. We just have to go to 3. Yeah, I'm just like, clearly I'm just not playing well tonight. Like I'm just not in like the headspace tonight. I don't know what like why I'm playing so poorly tonight. I can't really think of anything that like happened that would like have like put me on tilt today or something, or like I didn't have a bad day. Like I had a really good day today. Like I taught class this morning, and then like Carly and I had lunch, and then like I had a meeting this afternoon, and Carly and I came home to take a nap. Like so I don't know what's going on with me tonight. It was close. If it only received a +1, you had 2 non-attack actions, I think, +3 equipment block. Yeah, so we had 1 on tech plating, 1 on Crater Fist, and then we had like both from the Civic Steps there. I mean, this is just going to be fate foreseen. I don't really know how we're ever coming back and like getting back into this game. Like how many Stillblade shunts have we seen? We've seen 2 red Stillblade shunts. We haven't seen any other ones, so they might only be on 2 red ones. I think we're just gonna have to bottom this. We're not really in a place to where we're gonna be able to play this. Back on a value-based fair deck. Been boosting for an entire week. I mean, dude, that's true. For like 2 weeks, I have been doing nothing but like just like trying to like boost and like play aggressively. Let's see here. Target attack gets +1. So, did they charge this turn? So they charged Celestial Cataclysm this turn, which is what's still there. So if I block with Spinal Crush, this goes to 4. They activate this and then I die. So I either have to give both of my cards here, or I have to give Fate Foreseen. So I think we're just going to give Fate Foreseen, and then we're just going to give Fate Foreseen and then swing the hammer for 6. They're not forced to do anything. Yeah, they know there's a defense reaction coming. We'll bottom that. We're not interested in Showtime. Plus, we're pitch stacking a blue with our Spinal Crush we just put on the bottom. So we're setting ourselves up for a better... Okay, so now we got to play around 2 of those things. Great, great, great. Now I'm honestly sitting here wondering how much has me playing nothing but like aggro dash decks, like how much has that made me like swap off of like all of like the mindset that like I put together to like play like Oldham Bravo grindy style play. I'm actually just curious now. So this is just a 1 for 4. What do they charge at instant speed with? I don't know that they charge with anything at instant speed. Maybe they do, and I'm just not aware of it. Like, is there anything that charges at instant speed that I'm not thinking about? This is an attack. Beacon of Victory is an attack reaction. Banish X cards from your hero's soul. They have no cards. They have 0 cards in their hero's soul. So if I just block with Starstruck and Buckling Blow here, I think I'm safe, unless I'm crazy here. Like this, like, I mean, I don't know. It feels like they have some kind of trick here. They may just have a hand that doesn't do anything. And then I'm just going to throw the Buckling Blow for 8 because I have the Surge set up. So we're just going to take our value-oriented play here. Okay. So, oh, I thought this said destroy this. This gets +2 if you've charged. Oh, well, yeah, that completely changes the text on that card. I wasn't really considering that could be an option there. And now I am just dead because I'm going to block 6 and just take 2. They don't even have to pitch for the V for Valor. I'm just dead here. Yeah, so me just like reading that card wrong, like not again, just like, dude, I'm dead. What are you doing? I mean, I guess technically this is the most correct play. Shoo! I just lost a Boltyn playing Bravo. I don't think I've ever said that phrase out loud. It's been one of those nights for sure. Okay, well, I mean, let's keep grinding. Let's try to push through it here. I mean, the only way I'm going to get through it is to just keep playing games, keep getting on that value plan here. Guys, thanks for hanging out tonight. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I mean, I feel like everybody that hangs out in my chat is super nice and like a lot of fun. I don't really feel like my opponent paid attention at all when I said looking for aggro. In the Bravo mirror, do you want to go first or second? That's a weird question. I don't think I've ever played the Bravo mirror. I mean, I think I want to go first, but going second gives me a chance to get tempo here. Let's go second. Let's just see what happens. I'm just curious to see how it plays out. How important are defense reactions here? Like, do I just bring in staunches? Not bring in the 0 for 4s? Like, if I just bring in staunches and just play 63 cards? Guess it depends on how my opponent's playing here. Let's just bring in staunches. We'll use staunches for our big turns. Like, at this point, like, just like living on the edge. Like, really don't appreciate that my opponent joined. Like, they obviously want to play the mirror, and they clearly did not read my message. But anyway, sorry, what I was saying is, like, I just, like, you know, everybody that hangs out in my chat's super nice, and, like, you know, like, I appreciate you guys hanging out, because I'm sure it's not easy to sit there and watch me just make the wrong play, like, for multiple hours in a row. So it means a lot that even though I'm not playing that well tonight, you guys are still hanging out. So they're loading 5 more cards than us. I mean, I guess if we go first, we get to just like activate Hammer and make a Surge and then Arsenal the Immovable here. So that would have been pretty good. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Probably just wanting to get cards out of his hand if I had to guess. I would say that's what we're going for here. If our opponent comes in with a Hammer, I'm just going to block with these 2 cards. Want to keep the Unmovable in our deck. We're probably going to try and Arsenal it if I can. Surprised they pitched the Zealous Belting. I mean, I could Arsenal the Command and Conquer and just play my Terra Sunder, which is like almost guaranteed to get some like cards out of my opponent's hand here. Wake up in your bed in the morning. So he Arsenaled a Favor Scene. So my opponent did bring in the defense reactions here. Interesting. Like, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just curious, like, what are these hands? I was like, this is not a good hand here. I mean, I can take 4, go to 36, and just swing Command and Conquer Pummel, pitching my Staunch Response and Arsenal a Pummel here. I mean, we have it. We might as well play it. I think that's like kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, let's get aggressive here. I don't really know that a lot of defense reactions is the way to win the Guardian mirrors. Like, I think they can be good in certain spots, but I'm not a... Like, they can be good in certain spots, but I'm not sold that like having a bunch of defense reactions is how you win Guardian Mirrors. Like, we get to push through some damage here and put our opponent to 32. I mean, I guess knowing that they have a 5-card hand, we're supposed to like keep the Staunch and Arsenal it here. We do get to have back-to-back Command and Conquer Pummel turns, though, which is kind of cool, depending on what my opponent does. I mean, the no-go again text is like kind of whatever, I feel like. Bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him. This hand. Yeah, it's an interesting hand, to say the least. Let's just take 6 here, and then we'll just throw Command and Conquer Pummel again. Like, and if my opponent, like, doesn't, like, if they block 10 or something like that, then we'll just hang on. We'll just hang on to our Pummel here. I am going to pitch like this in case they do block 10, so that way I'm not stuck with the red buckling blow in my hand. Womp womp. I mean, I guess that's the good thing of having 2 of them early game like that. I don't really know that I want any of these cards in my hand, like in my arsenal. Like, maybe I want to keep a Cranial Crush in Arsenal that I can throw later because it's 8. Like, it's not bad. Nah, let's just make a Surge. Okay, so we just had to wait a second for that to actually go away. I mean, even if our opponent doesn't have a defense reaction here, they can just give me 2 pieces of equipment, but obviously they've arsenaled another defense reaction. So their 0 for 4s are lining up pretty well so far. I still stand by my statement that I don't think 0 for 4s are the way to win this game. Let's block 3. Let's go to 27. And then I'm actually just going to swing the hammer back at him. And then I'm going to arsenal my buckle. And I'm going to wait for my opponent to actually block with their tectonic plating. And we're going to try to sit on it as long as we can in hopes that we can actually get their tech plating. If we can get their tech plating, we'll be in a pretty decent spot. Like, that's pretty good. I mean, there's only one more Pummel in my deck. I'd kind of like to save the Command and Conquer for it if I can. This is an interesting hand. I mean, the like on the nose play here is just to like play my Staunch Response, because I haven't played one yet and I pitch stacked one. So if I play one and then I can just pitch 2 cards and come in with the hammer. I could also just give these 2 cards and then come in with hammer for 4, keeping a Staunch Response in my deck. I don't know. I don't know what's better there. The fact that they started with 5 more cards in their deck is like definitely giving them a little bit of an advantage here. The only thing that we really have going for us in this game as of right now is the fact that they've used their Crown of Providence, which makes all of our following Command and Conquers a lot better. Okay. We have a buckle here. Let's just block with a buckle and take 1. Don't really see a reason to like do anything else. I mean, I guess I could have taken 4 and played buckle and then Spinal Crush, but I don't think that's really where we want to be. We want to save our buckle for when we can actually try to get something with it. So they're on red and blue staunches, and they're on blue unmovables as well, which means they're like, their deck is like probably really set up to play like defensively into Lexi. I guess they're saying that like it gives them a better shot into the mirror, and it gives them a better shot. It gives them a good mirror game, and it also gives them a good Lexi game. Or I mean, I feel like they think it gives them a good Lexi game, but I don't know. Like unless they're on like what Justin was talking about earlier, where like we're on like the whole like the 0 for 3 that destroys things, destroys like items. Like unless they're just like playing super defensively and like trying to make that a game plan into dash, and trying to use blue staunch and red staunch. Like blue staunch and red staunch, and then also fate sinks and blue unmovables. That's a lot of defense reactions. Like that's a lot of defense reactions. The sinks and the fates are like your best tool against Lexi. Like fate foreseen and sink below are by far your best tools against Lexi. They're definitely trying to fatigue you. Been blocking with crippling and other power cards super early. Yeah, so they brought in extra cards, and like I definitely get the sense that they're trying to fatigue me as well. Like in the back of my head, that was just kind of like looming there, that this is something that's happening. So I want to keep as many power cards as I can late in my deck, as late as possible. They're also trying to fatigue me, and like they're like already at 21. So we're blocking Showtime for sure. I think we're also blocking with Chokeslam here, and we're just going to pitch Chokeslam and Buckling Blow. Try to keep some reds in our deck for the late game. Because what, they're at 49, so they're up 6 cards right now. And I guess that's just because I've been playing cards. I mean, they've also given us 2 red staunches. Like, so we have 1 more red staunch, 2 more blue staunches, and then 2 fates and 2 sinks, and at least, and then some amount of, blue unmovables left in their deck. Like, these kinds of hands are not going to cross the finish line for us, like, basically ever. Still 9 armor block, though. Yes, they do have 9 armor block, which is relevant. So, I really want to save my Crown of Providence. I mean, I'm pretty tempted just to take 6 here and then pitch my 3 cards to swing the hammer. Like, Spinal Crush, like, not doing a ton here because we're just looking at hammering and our 2 reds. Like, our hand was pretty awkward. And we'll just come in for 6 with the hammer here. Like, the way that you really fatigue someone in the Bravo mirror is to get them to where they have to start blocking first. When you get someone to where they have to start blocking first, like, that's how you know they're losing the game. I mean, the buckle's good here, but we're just going to block 5 here. This is probably still pummel, but like, or it's not pummel. Oh, they're on Sigil of Solace, so they're on like a pretty hard fatigue plan here. Interesting. So let's pitch Buckling Blow to make a surge. Come in with Zealous Belting for 5 go again. The go again turns are really good. We also haven't seen any rouse turns. The go again turns are what's really going to give us tempo. Like if you're like using like and I guess I could just pummel here if I really just wanted to be like funny to like get value out of the Quicken token here, but I don't think I want to. I think I'd rather just lose the value off the Quicken token than I would to like try and like be like kind of like cheeky here and get them with the pummel. Like I don't think that's the play I'm looking for. Okay, a Fate Foreseen. Now we're just waiting for something like pretty big that we can pummel here. That's pretty much what we're going for. Like we're gonna try and pummel like a Crippling Crush or like something that's like very like large and in charge. Just swinging the hammer for 4. Makes me wonder if they have a pummel and they're just gonna come in for 10. So I mean, I can pummel the Spinal Crush here and then arsenal the Crippling Crush, which is not bad. Yo, what's up, Kyle? Doing an edit? Dude, I enjoy editing, man. I was like, I love editing, but like I kind of hate editing low-key. Like tomorrow's Tuesday. It's the Woodshed Clash of Clans Tuesday. So if I dominate Spinal here, like, I don't know. Like, I really want to, like, pummel a Crippling Crush, but it's going to require 3 blues. I could just go for the Spinal Crush pummel here and then arsenal my Crippling Crush. Kind of see where we go from there. I mean, I'm going to play it and see what you do. Okay, I mean, you have to have another 0 for 4 here, which, like, is not unthinkable. Which means our opponent's probably going to arsenal their last card, if I had to guess, depending on what it is. Now they're just going to come in for 4. 3, 5, 7, 8. So if I go to 7 to dominate a Crippling Crush, I mean, I know they have a lot of defense reactions here, but if they don't have a defense reaction, they have to give us a card and then a lot of equipment here. Or they can just discard 2 cards, which I probably wouldn't do if I were them. What is this, Steadfast? If this is Steadfast, then like we never had a chance in this matchup. It's like if my opponent just like has a Steadfast here, like we were never winning this game. Our opponent came to play the mirror. Like in a world where Bravo is not even really that popular. Which is like kind of funny. Okay, so defense reaction from hand here of some variety. Take 3, go to 15. We did get equipment, which is like relevant. Like that's not for nothing. This hand is not good. This hand is not good at all. We're going to make another surge, and we're just going to swing the hammer. Come in for 6. Our opponent has one more sigil in their hand. Now, we do have more equipment block than they do, so... And this hand is... like, just not very good. So we're going to give Spinal Crush. If I give Spinal Crush... and... I guess I don't technically need to give anything else, but... 2, 3, 4. So if I block like this, I take 1, go to 6, and then I'm actually in a spot where I can still give a card a 3 block, 4, 5, 6, 7 to block a Terra Sunder if I need to. And then we're just gonna make a surge and come in with a hammer here. Just play our value-oriented game at this point. Although I don't think it's gonna matter. I think our opponent just like came very heavy teched for the mirror and we didn't. I would actually be curious to know like if they did come teched for the mirror or if this is for something else. Like so pitch Thunderquake to give Staunch and then come in with Starstruck. Probably the most value-oriented play I've made all night. As you can tell by like watching some of our games earlier, I've not played the super value-oriented plan well tonight. Like I'm 1-3. Like I don't have a losing record with Bravo very often. Bravo, like pre me playing nothing but Bright Lights for 3 weeks, like I was on Bravo a lot and like we were winning quite a bit with Bravo. Like that's more than likely a defense reaction. But if I go Terra Sunder, I can dominate a Buckling Blow here, and then Arsenal the Terra Sunder, or I can give Terra Sunder. So if I throw Terra Sunder here, this is a defense reaction. Like it 100% is a defense reaction, or it's a sigil. Like I guess it could be a sigil. I think we're just dominating the Buckling Blow and arsenaling the Terra Sunder. I think that's our best play. The interesting part of this game is that I'm now up on cards, and I just drew a Staunch Response, which means as many cards as I've pitched. I have a couple of Staunch Responses coming up in our next couple of hands. So if our opponent gets a little greedy and tries to like go for it, quote unquote, then we just have them. Like we'll just like, I need our opponent to get a little greedy here and take some damage over the course of a couple of turns. Oh, okay. So our opponent takes 2. They're going to swing the hammer here, I imagine. They're going to swing hammer for 4, which means I'm going to take 1 and go to 4. Yeah, I'm going to take 1 and go to 4 here. I'm going to Terra Sunder a Nothos. Like, I know that they have the defense reaction, but I think I'm just setting myself up in a good way. Like, we got to play our cards. We got to try and get ahead here. We're going to go up to 31 cards and then down to 27. Which means our opponent was up 5 when it started. They went up a couple of more, and then we've actually brought the card situation back. Not necessarily like into our favor. We're still down a card technically in our deck, but we are in a better spot. Yeah. Okay. So having some good things line up in good ways here for us. This is looking pretty solid so far. Okay, Sigil of Solace puts them to 7. So it was Sigil of Solace. Yeah, they wanted the arsenal there. I wasn't even going to attempt to play anything because I knew that's exactly what they were doing. Make a surge, and then let's throw Cranial Crush. Now, our opponent still has some life that they can play with here, but we're really starting to step into the driver's seat a little bit late in the game. Like, we have more equipment block than them set up. We now have more cards in our deck. Like, we have a couple of pretty bad pitch stacked hands where, like, we don't really have go again, or we can't really do anything. So, we are forced to, like... my foot warmer turned off. We are forced to, like, continue to, like, make sure that our life total stays at 4 or 3, because I have a lot of 2 blocks left in my deck. So, it's something I really need to, like, focus on coming into, like, the last, like... I don't know how many turns are left in the game, but their surge goes off. They swing the hammer for 4. I mean, I can give the unmovable to cover this up and then swing hammer for 6. I can block 3, take 1, dominate a choke slam. This has got to be a defense reaction. So we've seen 2 blue staunches and 2 red staunches. We've seen 3 sink belows and 2 fate foreseens. There's still 2 command and conquers left in their deck. So I think we're just going to play the unmovable here. I think that's the play. I want to put my opponent in a position where they think they're in a spot to where they can take damage and actually hit me. Exclamation point foot warmer. That should be a command. That should actually be a command. I need to make that a command. That's a great idea, Ben. Listen, I love my foot warmer, okay? Like, I know I sound like a 90-year-old man, but I love my foot warmer. I'm recording but not wearing any pants. Thank you for that mental image, Kyle. That's really gonna keep a smile on my face as I'm finishing up this game here. It's also the joy of, like, recording and kind of like streaming is that you don't have to have on pants if you don't want to, because it's only your top half. Well, at least it is for me anyway. It's just Hawaiian shirt. I can have on no pants for all you guys know. I have on pants, just to clarify, in case anybody was wondering. I'm not a buffoon. I have on pants. Okay, so there's our last fate foreseen, which means there's a red staunch and a blue staunch. Red staunch, blue staunch, and some number of blue unmovables from here. This is the hand that I was talking about that is not very good. So let's see. How many pummels have we seen out of them? We've seen 2 pummels so far, which means there's 1 more in their deck. This is an interesting decision point for us, right? Zach is not wearing pants confirmed. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely wearing pants. I always wear pants when I stream. Pants. I don't even know what that means, Nathaniel. I mean, this is a weird turn cycle, right? So, part of me thinks block Zealous Belting, Civic Steps, take 2, and then if they play the pummel, play our staunch response. I don't really want to take any damage, though. This is such a weird option here. Like, this is like such a weird turn. I think this is just a play. Okay. So we get to swing the hammer back for 6. Interesting. I wonder if they did have it and they're just trying to get in my head. Show us your pants then? Dude, as soon as the game's over, I will stand up and show you all my red pajama pants that I am wearing. If this is how it must be, then I will. Is that... How many sigils are there left? None. They've played them all. Okay, so this is just a crippling crush. So... I mean, I say just a crippling crush, but... I guess we're just gonna staunch for 10 here. Yeah, we're just gonna pitch Rouse and Macho Grande to staunch for 10 here. That's definitely our play. It's definitely the play from here. I'm actually gonna pitch Buckling Blow Macho Grande. I want to get my 2 block on the bottom of the deck. And then I'm gonna pitch Rouse to hammer for 4. And then Arsenal the Unmovable. I want to have protection against whatever they're trying to do here at the end of the game. He's not showing us. For all we know, Carly could be putting the on. You're so ridiculous. Okay, fine. Fine, if this is what it's going to be. You happy now? Pants. So... let's just block 8 here. I don't really think the Quicken token is going to matter at this point in the game. Yeah, the Quicken token's like not going to be super relevant at this point in the game, in my opinion. I mean, like it could be, but I don't foresee it being that way. Our opponent knows we have no pummels. We played them all so far, so like we've played all 3 pummels. There are none left in our deck, so our opponent's not playing around it, right? Am I looking over a third one? No, the third one's up there. Okay, yeah. So they're not having to play around pummel ever at this point. See, he hesitated. Carly was finishing putting them on. Pantless liar. You're a pantless liar. How about that, huh? God, I swear. I mean, yeah, see, this having go again here is just completely, like, not relevant. So yeah, let's do this. We'll go to 1 here, which I think is fine. We're just kind of sitting on the like blue unmovable, waiting for it to kind of like bail us out at this point. Because we're up cards. Like our opponent has to go for a big swing here at some point, or we will eventually just fatigue them. More than likely. I mean, we do have a lot of 2 blocks left in our deck. Our opponent, like, yeah, they have Rouses. Okay, so they're just on, like, a hyper defensive list. Like, it seems like they're playing Pablo's list. It's honestly, like, and I don't know that Pablo's list was, like, hyper defensive by any means, but it was definitely more defensive than my list is. Like, he was on sigils. He was on a lot of stuff. Curious to know if our opponent's actually thinking or if I'm lagging. Okay, so our opponent's thinking here. Okay. Okay, so they're going to give us a staunch or something. So they've been sitting on a staunch for a minute now. They decided to pass it up. So they're trying to end the game with Macho Grande here. They're not going to be able to, thankfully. The question is, how do we block? So if I block with... If I block with these two and then give my blue unmovable pitching this, I can also throw my own Macho Grande. All right, let's count their defense reactions here. So all the fates and all the sinks are gone. We know that. All the sigils are gone, so they're not gaining life. There are 0 red staunch responses left in the deck. There's a blue, like, I guess let's make sure there's no red staunches. There's 1 red staunch, 2 red staunch, 1 at the bottom. And now let's work our way up from the bottom here. So blue staunch. So there's a blue staunch somewhere in their deck and blue unmovables. So I guess we're not really like ending the game here. So we just need to block 8, keep our equipment, stay in the game. Our surge goes off. Let's come in with hammer for 4, and we'll arsenal our other blue unmovable. Shoo! Nice to see games go to fruition. My Talishar games have been all concessions. The opponent... Oh, all concessions from the opponent since my... since you started playing Dromai. I mean, like, Dromai gets to a point to where I think people just get frustrated and tired of playing into it. So, like, part of me, like, understands, honestly. Like, people wanting to concede. So, if I give Chokeslam and a card... if I give Chokeslam and this, they can't pummel me here, so this is more than likely going to be hammer. So I get to stay here, and then I get to pitch the unmovable. But, like, so, like, I get what you're saying, because, like, I always, like, I like to play out the games as long as I can when it comes to this kind of stuff. Just because I want to see the games played out all the way if I can, but, like, I also understand, like, people conceding into Dromai, because once you get to a certain point, like, Dromai is just, like, Dromaiing you to death, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Are they only on, like, 1 Command and Conquer, or do they just, like, cut them against us? Like, okay, so this must be, like, their good hand here. If they gave tech plating and that. Instead of going to 1. This has got to be their pummel. Why did they give up their last point of equipment block if that wasn't pummel? I'm really, like, really intrigued by their decision point there. Because now they're, like, they either have to have their last blue staunch. They have to have blue unmovable, blue staunch, or they're forced to give me 2 cards the rest of the game. It's kind of weird. How are you liking that Dromai list, Nathaniel? I wanted to ask you about that. And if it's something that, like, you've been working on and you don't really feel, like, comfortable, like, talking about, like, on stream, then, like, we can text about it tomorrow or something. So I'm hanging out in class tomorrow, like, kind of. Tomorrow's like an educational day for me, so I'll have some free time to text you tomorrow. At least I should. I think I do. I don't want to, you know, put the cart in front of the horse here, but I think that's a saying. Not really sure. Maybe I'm lagging here. No, my opponent's just thinking here. I mean, they're probably trying to figure out how to get all the value out of their hand that they can. They probably still, like, I know that they still have a Rouse or two in their deck, and unfortunately, we're just at the point in the game where nobody's keeping their Rouses here. Nobody's keeping their Rouses. It's just not happening. If they're on the Pablo list, then they're only on 2 pummels, so there are no more pummels in their deck, which is an option. I mean, they could have one more. They haven't pitched one recently, so I don't think there's one more, but this is a really good swing for me because this gives me 3 cards from their hand, or I get an unmovable here. And unless, so if the unmovable's in their hand, I get 3 cards anyway. I get a card from hand, the unmovable, and then I get the card that they pitch. If the unmovable or a defense reaction in general is in their arsenal, then I'm at a spot where I get I get 2 cards from hand and I get a defense reaction from arsenal. So yeah, okay. So now they're left with 2 cards in hand, which means they can hammer me for 6 if they want to here. Draw my good with good matchups into the best deck, it feels like. Well, I mean, dude, that's what you want, man. Like, that's what you're looking for. So if that's how it feels, then that's awesome. I mean, let's give 6 here. Our opponent goes up to 9, and then our opponent goes down to 5. We're going to go up to 11 and then down to 7. So we're up 2 cards, and we also have a Staunch. And I think the Staunch is just going to win us the game. Like, don't get me wrong. I could still lose somehow. I have no idea what that looks like from here, but I could lose. It is something that could happen. This has been a grind. Like, this has been a slog to get to where we're at. Our opponent's going to get to a point to where, like, I think they have 2 Rouses left in their deck. And there will be a turn where they can give me 1. So I think this is the turn we want. Is this Thunderquake Macho Grande? Or I'm sorry, is this Thunderquake Civic Footsteps? This is why I don't think I could play Bravo. The mirror is excruciating. Oh, dude, the mirror, like any Guardian mirror, is just a slog, dude. Like, it's literally just a grind fest. And the crazy part's I love it. I used to hate it. Like, I used to hate this kind of stuff when I played Magic, but now I'm at a point where I really enjoy this kind of stuff. So this is probably a defense reaction if I'm guessing here. If I give Thunderquake, if it's not a defense reaction, how many blue unmovables have they played? Blue unmovable. Blue unmovable. So there's probably one more in their deck somewhere. So if I give Thunderquake, and Civic Footsteps, I get to make a surge, activate Bravo, dominate this with my Macho Grande and my Rouse, leaving my Staunch in my arsenal. So I take a chance at ending the game. I worry that the Quicken token, I don't think the Quicken token is going to do anything from here, but I guess it could. So They can't pummel here. Like, I guess if they had like a random lunging press that I didn't see them pitch stack, which I don't know how. I guess I could have just not been paying attention. That's not the craziest thing in the world, especially the way I've been playing tonight. All right, maybe we get lucky and this ends the game. I don't know. Tome makes Lexi a lot better, and Dust makes Bravo favorable no matter what Dromai's thought before this. Oh, really? So like you're like favored into Bravo now? Like that's like a genuine question, because that's like super interesting to me. That like that the Dust single-handedly swung the card in your swung the matchup in your favor, because that's kind of neat to me. So now we know our opponent's out of defense reactions. We're just going to go for the kill shot here. So I'm going to pitch my disable to play my staunch response, and then I'm going to use my surge to throw Macho Grande to in the game. Oh, and that had go again. So they technically still have their action point. Not that it's relevant, but... And then we come in with 8 dominate, and then our opponent's just not going to block because they realize the game's over. What a grind. I thought I said good game back to our opponent. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I was like, I feel bad if I didn't. Total damage threatened, 227. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. But that's the Bravo mirror. I mean, like, so like that is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier on in the game. Like when I was sideboarding for that matchup, I said that I don't feel like having all the defense reactions is how you win this matchup. And like our opponent was definitely ahead in the early game, and that's what the defense reactions do. The defense reactions put you ahead in the early game, and then if you get ahead on life and if you get ahead on cards, all you have to do is keep that tempo. But the defense reactions make your hands so awkward sometimes that you just kind of can't. And like that's like my experience of not bringing in the 0 for 4s into the Bravo mirror is that I've lost the game because I brought them in. So I bring in staunches because they cover up big stuff, and then I use the blue and movables and the staunches to help me play defense. And then other than that, I'm just trying to like grind it out over the course of the game. So Bravo has to aggro it out now, and it's still hard for them to win. I mean, that's the thing that like Bravo kind of always had to do a little bit. Like, I mean, Bravo could just fatigue you in the past. It was not as easy as it was for Oldham, but you could do it. So it was something that could be done. Probably 60-40 though, maybe 55-45. Okay, so it's not like crazy favored for Dromai. It's just that you're slightly favored. And the interesting part is that like I think if you're a Dromai player who hasn't practiced into the Bravo matchup, honestly, I might honestly just like skill gap you in the matchup. Just because I know a lot about the matchup. Now, obviously not the way I played tonight. The only game that I really played well tonight, in my opinion, was that last game. Like that last game was like a grind, and like I like feel like I played that one pretty well. The games tonight, like I don't know what was going on with my head. Like I feel like I was not in the headspace. Like, and you guys will hear me say that like if you're losing at Flesh and Blood, there's like 9 times out of 10 it's your own fault. Variance things happen. It does happen sometimes. But I could just tell that I wasn't playing very well tonight. So, you know, in spite of that, I appreciate you guys hanging out and being part of the stream tonight. Means a lot. I'm actually going to call it a little bit early tonight. I was planned on streaming for about 3 hours or so, but I'm gonna call a little early, try to take a little mental reset tonight and see if maybe I can figure out what's going on with my gameplay and what's going on. And then I'm streaming tomorrow. I'll be back at 7 tomorrow, my regular time, barring that nothing crazy happens. So I will be back then. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good Tuesday, everybody.